What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the RacerRed channel. Bear in mind that I can't hear myself talk most of the time over the engine noise. This looks like it could be pretty muddy. Once I start hitting this clay, I'm just kind of in for the ride.
A motorcycle is whatever you want to make it. Turn it on, you can give yourself a real thrill.
It is the next day. I'm at the same place, but getting some more practice in. Wanted to talk to you guys about like the effect of YouTube and different channels. I know that people used to be pretty judgmental about YouTube at the very beginning, and certain people anyway, and now most of those people want to start their own channels. I think that's usually how it goes, but now, like, who doesn't have a favorite YouTube channel? YouTube is a great resource for writers and for anybody really who has a knack for making videos and doing just videography type of material, or that just has a creative knack. But my channel, I haven't really focused on getting subscribers or anything. But still, I'm definitely pleased with how my channel has grown, even though it's a fairly small channel. I guess I've always seen it as a good resource to do a lot of promotional stuff if you want to gain sponsorships or to begin to ride for a living, or at least ride for extra cash on the side, which I think is crazy. I mean, in the past, there's just no way that you could make any money as a rider. Even if you were a pro, you weren't really making money unless you were on a factory team. It's a pretty new thing, really. But YouTube is unique in the fact that it doesn't care how good of a writer you are. Most of the channels on YouTube are very much beginner writers making videos. In fact, one of the biggest ones was a very beginner writer just a few years ago. He's gotten a lot better now. He's probably B-level now, but and that's only because he does YouTube for a living now. He's got over 100,000 subscribers. He's got a lot of Patreon accounts, people donating every month. And now that guy rides for a living and makes videos for a living, which is awesome. And that's the beauty of YouTube right there. It's a huge resource for writers, especially those who aren't able to do it for a living just by writing. And I fall into that category. In fact, I would be in the pro class, but I got to go to work, and I'm thankful that I can go to work. So it definitely allows me to do this as much as I do. So, however, a lot of the people I knew who became professional riders pretty much had their parents driving them around the different races out of state, just constantly riding. So to be a pro, I'd hate to say it, but mostly you've got to be wealthy from the get-go. You've got to have parents that were extremely wealthy and just able to pay for everything all the way through. But, you know, as small as my channel is, I still have seen great benefits from doing YouTube. In fact, riding is pretty much free for me at this point, and which is awesome. Yeah, like I said, I'll do, you know, some races this year, and just take it easy. It's a tough ordeal because I'm so competitive, but at the same time, when I do races, I have to go back to work, you know, on Monday, and so it's a struggle because you can't go all out. When I'm out riding like this, I'm at probably 50%, and when I'm racing, I'm probably at about 70%. Just going. I heard it put pretty well the other day, how you're supposed to race is you go as fast as you're comfortable with, and then you add just a hair more than that. And that's how you do it without ever wrecking or getting yourself in trouble. And then you can just go to work the next day. And that's how I do it anyways. Now, if I had unlimited resources and I could just go to the races and let it hang out, I would bring it up to about 90%. YouTube is definitely a great resource in a lot of ways. It's not just getting paid from doing videos, and it's not even close to just being that. I've had so many networking opportunities that so many pieces of advice, and I've hit a couple of races because they were recommended to me on YouTube. I've got a couple of riding buddies that came from YouTube because I work odd days, and so YouTube connected me to people who can ride on those days, and so that's an awesome thing too. Especially considering I get many requests to go riding, but then when I let them know, hey, I go riding on this day at this time, they're usually like, oh, never mind. But this area is really close to my house now, so I'll be here in the afternoons. I've got a block of time I can run over here and just tear it up, which is awesome. That's one of the reasons I moved out this way, is so I can have areas to recreate right next to my house. It's a lot quieter streets. It's just a way better situation. Whoa. No thanks. That is straight up slime. Oh. There's mud, and then there's whatever this is. It's like a layer on top of other layers. Clay Peak is the name is no joke. It's definitely clay. Back to the topic though, YouTube is definitely one of those things that has grown into a norm, kind of like smartphones and Facebook, things that people judged from the beginning as well, but then accepted a year later. And YouTube is kind of under that category. When I started doing YouTube videos like 3 or 4 years ago, people were pretty judgy of it, and then a couple of years went by, and then just everybody was either doing it. People were either watching it with their favorite channels, or they just made videos. So millennials, you and your YouTubes and your technologies. That mentality always cracks me up because, look, we haven't had a tough generation since World War II, guys. The rest of you all did drugs in the 60s and 70s and were a bunch of hippies. Every generation thinks they're more badass than the previous one. It's another topic I've been meaning to talk about, is you can't see depth in these videos. Everybody already knows that for the most part, but it's like when I was watching my videos of hitting these whoops out here are really deep, and you can't even tell that at all in the video. And also, the dangers of racing you can't really portray through video either, because nobody really sees the boulders that you're dodging going 60 miles an hour, so, and they can't feel what you're feeling at all. All they see is just an image. Alright, it's getting dark. Catch you guys on the next video. Peace.